This mod is incredible. The mod maker, Real Princess Zelda, has already made some great magic mods for Tears of the Kingdom, like the You're a Wizard mod that adds some wizard armor along with wands and spells, and the More Armor Effects mod that adds some cool magical effects to some armor sets that you can use in combat. Both of those mods are amazing, but I think Zelda's done something really special with this one. The mod is called Magic of the Kingdom, and it aims to bring some old school Zelda magic to Tears of the Kingdom, including the magic meter from games like A Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, and Wind Waker. It also includes the 3 spells from Ocarina of Time, Din's Fire, Farore's Wind, and Nayru's Love, along with some new spells. I can't wait to show you those spells and more, but before we get into it, I need to tell you about something else that feels like magic. That's right, I'm talking about Vitcher's brand new Luma Pro XR glasses. Last time I told you guys about Vitcher's Pro XR glasses, which already have the sharpest XR display on the market. But the all-new Luma Pros have a beautiful 4K-like ultra-sharp display that is 50% sharper than the regular Vitcher Pros. I can't emphasize enough how sharp the display is. There's no blurry edges, and it looks just as good as playing a game on my 4K TV. For my Switch 2 players out there, don't worry because the Luma Pro is already compatible with it using the Vitcher Pro mobile dock. So instead of using the Switch 2's handheld screen, you can just plug in your Luma Pros and upgrade to a massive 152-inch ultra-vivid display that you can take with you on the go. And it somehow manages to look even more crisp than the regular Switch 2 display. It doesn't stop there though. Vitcher truly is the one-stop shop for on-the-go gaming, especially with their latest collaboration with 8BitDo that brings us the ultimate mobile gaming controller. This device is already an amazing mobile gaming controller. The build quality is excellent with Hall effect joysticks and triggers, but to make it even better, there's an additional USB-C port where you can plug in your Luma Pro XR glasses so you can make a regular mobile game feel like a luxury gaming experience. There are so many other amazing features I want to talk about, like the new dynamic light effects on the arms, the tilt-adjustable temples, and of course the electrochromic film that lets you block nearly 100% of external light at the touch of a button. But unfortunately, I'm out of time, so check out the links in the description and use code NIGHTPOTATO for 10% off of the entire order. Thank you, Vitcher. Alright, back to the mod. Before we get into the magic meter and spells, I want to talk about the little things this mod does that makes Tears of the Kingdom feel more like a classic Zelda game. My absolute favorite feature is the reintroduction of recovery hearts that you can find by cutting grass. I know that it's not super necessary in a game where you can eat like half of the things in your inventory to heal, but just being able to find recovery hearts in the grass again goes such a long way to making this feel like I'm playing Ocarina of Time again. It's incredible. Alongside recovery hearts, we also have magic jars that can be found in grass, so you can refill your magic meter on the go. And we have potions. That's right, Magic of the Kingdom brings back the red potion that'll heal 16 hearts, the green potion that'll add 100 magic to your magic meter, and the blue potion that fully restores your health and magic. The green potion also comes with a super green potion variant that restores 200 magic, and the blue potion won't actually be available until you complete the quests added by this mod, which we'll get into in a second. But the other potions can be brewed yourself or purchased from a new witch NPC in a new potion hut on the outskirts of Farore. I'll go over the exact locations of everything later in the video, so you'll be able to easily skip it in case you want to find everything yourself. Okay, now we can get into the quests, magic meter, and spells. To kick everything off, you're going to want to head over to the Lindor's Brow Cave where you'll find this statue. If you pray to the statue, you'll receive your magic meter. At first, your magic meter can only store 100 magic, but you'll be able to upgrade that later. Also, unfortunately due to modding limitations for Tears of the Kingdom, it's currently not possible to get a dynamic magic meter to show up on the UI where it normally would be. So instead, you can find the magic meter and your current magic reserves in the Key Items menu. Once you have your magic meter, your next objective is to journey across Hyrule to find some spells that you can use. The statue in the Lindor's Brow Cave will provide hints to steer you in the right direction. And as I said before, I'll give the exact locations for each spell later in the video. For now, let me show you how each spell works. To use these spells, you'll need to be fully unequipped, so no weapon, shield, or bow, and turn off your Earthwake manual. First, let's look at Din's Fire. Din's Fire costs 20 magic to use, and it works very similarly to how it did in Ocarina of Time. All you have to do is press Y, the attack button, and there will be a large fire explosion around you. This explosion does 20 damage to your enemies, along with setting them on fire for some damage over time. Decent for damage, great for crowd control. Next up we have Farore's Wind. In Ocarina of Time, Farore's Wind would basically work as a travel medallion for dungeons. Obviously, that's not that useful in Tears of the Kingdom, so it works differently here. Farore's Wind costs 10 magic to cast, and it'll teleport you forward in the direction you're facing when you press the whistle button. It might not seem like a huge teleport now, but look what happens when you do this while crouched. I love this. It might be my favorite spell. I love being able to just launch myself forward at high speeds. Next up, we have Nayru's Love. In Ocarina of Time, Nayru's Love would steadily drain your magic meter to make you invincible. Due to modding limitations in Tears of the Kingdom, this effect couldn't be replicated, so instead, for the cost of 40 magic, you can press ZL and A to heal 25% of your max health along with 25% of your Gloom Hearts. This is a fairly expensive spell, but it's really nice having a heal that you can use mid-combat without pausing. Also, there's ways to mitigate the magic cost of the spell, which I'll get into later. So there's the 3 returning/modernized versions of the Ocarina of Time spells. Now let's go over the 5 new magical scrolls. First, there's the Scroll of Devastation, which for the price of 28 magic will allow you to press ZR and A to unleash 3 shockwaves around you. Not only does this ragdoll your enemies for more crowd control, but each shockwave does 15 damage for a total of 45 damage per spell casting. Next up is the Ice Scroll, which will unleash an Ice Blast around you, freezing your enemies when you press ZL and Y for the price of 25 magic, probably the best utility spell. Then we have the Scroll of Levitation. I really like this one because it basically brings back the moon jump glitch from Breath of the Wild, but with a limiter on it. All you have to do is jump into the air and then press A for a second jump. You can keep pressing A to jump higher and higher, but each extra jump costs 8 magic. Super convenient to use to gain height quickly without having to auto-build a hover bike or fuse a rocket to your shield. Next is the Lightning Scroll. For the price of 30 magic, you can call down a lightning strike on your location by pressing ZR. This lightning strike will deal 15 damage to the enemies it hits, on top of the electric damage, and it's actually a repurposed Gleeok lightning strike, so it'll create an updraft that you can ride. Finally, we have the Scroll of Valor. This spell will produce a massive, short-range Master Sword beam when you press ZL and R. It ragdolls your enemies, deals 35 damage, and costs 25 magic. That's it for the 5 magical scrolls you can get with this mod, but there's one final spell you can obtain, the Triforce itself, which for me is a very welcome addition to a game that mostly ignores the Triforce. To get the Triforce, you'll have to hunt down and collect the 3 pieces, which again, I'll show you soon. But once you have all 3 pieces, you can unleash some godly power. To use the Triforce, you'll need full health and a full magic meter, and when you cast the spell, it'll bring you down to a quarter heart and 1 magic. But that's okay because the spell itself is a large AoE insta-kill. All you have to do is press ZL and ZR. This won't insta-kill everything in the game because there's enemies like Gibdos that have elemental protections, and it can only melt through 1 phase of a boss at a time. But still, if you bring 3 blue potions to the Ganondorf fight to fully restore your health and magic after each use, you can take out each phase of Ganondorf with 3 quick pulses of the Triforce. Now, at this point, I'm sure you've noticed that these spells cost quite a bit of magic, and you only have 100 magic when your magic meter is full. So let me tell you how to fix that. The first time you upgrade your magic meter, you'll need the Master Sword, 2 star fragments, and 1 shard of the Light Dragon's Horn. Take those items to that statue in the Lindor's Brow Cave, and it'll upgrade your magic meter so it can now hold 200 magic. Then, once you've collected all the spells and completed the Triforce, that'll complete the 2 new quests added by the mod, so that the Witch NPC in the Potion Hut will upgrade your magic meter once more, allowing it to hold 400 magic. So now you've got 400 magic with the most expensive spell, Nayru's Love, only using up 10% of that. And you can refill your magic by collecting magic jars in the wild, drinking green potions to restore 100 magic, super green potions to restore 200 magic, or a blue potion to restore all 400 magic. But you can optimize your magic usage even further by using Real Princess Zelda's other mods. The Wizard and Armor Effect mods have both been given a compatibility patch, so you have the option of merging them with this new Magic of the Kingdom mod. A big benefit of that is the wizard armor that you've seen me wearing for some of the video. When you have the full set of wizard armor, it'll actually cut the magic cost of all spells in half, except for the Triforce, of course. Meaning the most expensive spell in your repertoire will only cost 20 magic, or 5% of the fully upgraded magic meter. Alright, your brain just absorbed a ton of new information because you were paying attention to every single detail, right? Quick, while your brain is still overwhelmed by all of this new info, click the subscribe button before you can overthink it. Excellent, good job. Now finally, let me give you the exact locations of everything added by this mod. If you don't want to see this part and would rather find everything yourself, then skip to the time shown on screen. If you plan on playing the mod yourself, I recommend you skip this part and just use the hints that the magic meter statue gives you. As I mentioned before, the statue that gives you the magic meter is located in the Lindor's Brow Cave near the Taki Ihaban Shrine. It's in the same room with the Gloom Hand, so it's hard to miss. The Potion Hut with the new Witch NPC is right here in the Faron Grasslands. For the 3 Ocarina of Time spells, you need to collect 3 empty fairy crystals. You'll find 1 at the Spring of Power in Akala, 1 at the Spring of Wisdom on Mount Nayru, and 1 at the Spring of Courage in the Faron Grasslands just north of Dracosi Lake. Then, once you have those, you need to take them to some statues that'll teach you the spells. Din's Fire is found in the Temple of Time on the Great Plateau. Just talk to the small statue just to the right of the big goddess statue. Give the statue 1 of the empty fairy crystals, a shard of Dinral's horn, and a fairy to get Din's Fire. Farore's Wind is in the Forgotten Temple. Just warp to the shrine and climb the big platform directly in front of you to find the statue. This one requires an empty fairy crystal, a shard of Ferocious horn, and a fairy. And finally, Nayru's Love can be found on Eventide Island at the southeasternmost point of the island, near the Wing minigame. This one requires your final empty fairy crystal, a shard of Nadra's horn, and a fairy. Next up are the scrolls. The Scroll of Devastation can be found just to the south of the Wellspring of Power in the depths, on top of this tree. The Scroll of Valor can be found at the altar behind the waterfall at the Wellspring of Courage in the depths. For the Ice, Levitation, and Lightning scrolls, you'll need to collect 3 enchanted scrolls first, just like the empty fairy crystals for the Ocarina of Time spells. The 3 enchanted scrolls can be found at each of the tech labs in Hyrule. There's 1 on the balcony of the Akala Tech Lab, 1 in the room at the top of the Hateno Tech Lab, and 1 in Purra's bedroom in Lookout Landing, which is inside this main room and then up 2 ladders. Once you have those 3 enchanted scrolls, you can trade this in along with 2 magic essences from the You're a Wizard mod to buy each of the scrolls. The Ice and Lightning scrolls can be bought from the Witch in the Potion Hut, and the Levitation scroll can be bought from the Wizard in the Wizard Study Well just south of the Flight Range in Hebra. This is also the guy you need to talk to get those magic essences. Once you've found all of the spells and scrolls, you can head back to the Magic Meter statue to complete the Mastering Magic quest and pick up the Hunt for the Triforce quest. The Triforce of Wisdom can be found in the Lanayru Road East Cave just to the east of this shrine. The Triforce of Courage can be found on the Thunderhead Isles just to the northwest of this shrine. And finally, the Triforce of Power can be found on this mushroom tree just north of this shrine near the Wellspring of Power. Once you have all 3 pieces of the Triforce, you just need to bring them back to the Magic Meter statue where you will complete the quest and receive the restored Triforce. So there you go. That's pretty much everything added by this mod along with all of their locations. But before I let you go, I want to show you what full wizard combat looks like with all of these powers. Okay, so this should call down lightning. Yep. Which then creates an updraft. Can I call down lightning from up here? I can, but it aims high. Okay, it doesn't touch the ground. Alright. Hell yeah, dude. That's so good. Oh, I accidentally healed. Oh, ZRNA does this. Okay. Oh, shit. That's insane. I moved it away. Damn it, I'm out. I did Ice plus Din's Fire, let me heal. Shit. Oh wait, I can... It's all coming together, dude, it's all coming together. The only overlap I'm seeing is that since lightning is just ZR, when you do ZR plus A, it does shockwave and lightning, which is fine. It just takes up more magic. What am I trying to do? That. Trying to do that. This is insane. Wait, hold on. When it all comes together like this and you have all the spells, it's very, very fun. And I take it back. When you have all of it along with potions, I think it's perfectly balanced. Like, this is plenty enough to take down a camp, and it's fun.